are even standing and even talking about without his credibility, because they don't want to accept the facts.
No,
and I told you,
these are things that are happening.
These are the things that are
in the country.
Have confronted us.
So we'll pretend and attack your personality.
Thank you. I sit here and I talk this way. Somebody will sit somewhere and attack me. You understand? But I'm saying that if our natural resources were properly managed, we don't need to go to look for money from China.
So this is the ability that we don't have.
No, we don't. We don't think well.
It has become so clear that we cannot manage our natural resources.
You understand? You don't need Professor Dodonu from Gimpa or to explain to you. No. It's very clear that our attitude towards our natural resources has landed us into this trouble. I told you before we went for break that we are in trouble. Didn't I tell you?
You did. You did.
And I even told you it will be very difficult for IMF to accept and give us a program because of our debt situation. Ibrahim, it is unimaginable for you to have a size of economy, $79.5 billion economy. That's the size of our economy. Then we are now going to tell IMF to give us $3 billion to survive or to rescue us in this program. Look at the size of our economy. What we have, when we say your economy, what you wealth. Do you understand? Ghana is worth $79.5 billion. So if we had managed our economy properly, we should have been talking about, let's say, like what we call benefits, like when we draw our balance sheet, not deficit. We should have been giving people's money because of the size of economy that we have, minus foreign direct investment, minus FDI, and this is not politics. You don't need somebody from UK or US to tell you that if you manage your economy well, you'll be good. Do you understand? Ibrahim, today I told you debt to GDP was like around 79%. And some people call into the program and tell you that the debt to GDP is 59%. If it is 59%, clearly, why won't IMF tell you that you sign onto the program? Executive approval started somewhere around November, December, and up to now they have not given you a program. Ibrahim, you started all this program in October. You understand? Then you had the approval in November, December. Then up to now you don't have program, to the extent that they are telling you to go back and restructure your debt. One, external debt restructuring, DDEF, or is it DDE, whatever. Then come to tell you should restructure your domestic debt in order that you can have what we call fiscal space. For them to give you an approval, Ibrahim, is unrealistic. I tell you, sometimes I don't like talking about economics because people who don't really understand will tell, you are on radio and you are doing politics. No, it's not politics.
But
these are issues.
Are the issues not clear?
Yes,
for everybody to see.
To see.
Because
now,
if it was so simple and easy, I'm sure by now we should have been in IMF.
Yes, even Sri Lanka.
But even
Sri Lanka, when they were complaining that Sri Lankan economy was this, then we're here. You remember, beginning of last year, and I told you that Ghana's situation is worse than the Sri Lankan situation.
I remember when we were discussing the Sri Lankan.
Yes, then I told you ours is worse because if you look at the trend, it tells you clearly that we have overborrowed, and that will give us a tight corner in our fiscal space. Do you understand what I'm saying? And these were the projections that we saw in 2020. You understand? And we're saying that there's the need for Ghana to reduce borrowing, because if you look at the bond market, at a point that we have been downgraded from B to CCC, that we cannot even do business in the bond market. Look at what Fitch has given just yesterday. Our downgrading. Look at how they rated us to CCC. Nobody will buy bond from Ghana any longer. And you rely so much on bonds, international bonds. Ibrahim, let me tell you, Ghana is supposed to be paying $2.7 billion interest on foreign loans a year. You understand? We are supposed, not principal, interest. We are supposed to be servicing our loans $2.7 billion, not million, dollars interest on loans every year. Do you understand? Now our growth, look at the size of the economy. I said 79.5 billion dollar economy. Then we are growing below 2% growth rate. One we're projecting 3% growth. One went for the spring meeting in Washington. Do you get it? We were rated 1.6, 1.8% growth. IMF will tell you the truth that your growth rate hasn't gotten to 2%.
But sometimes I have some problems with them. They will say this tomorrow. They will come and be praising people.
They are doing politics with you here. And when they go back home, when you come, they will face you with questions. Do you understand?
Sometimes that get me confused.
It is confused because
say we are doing well.
They are making money.
At some
it's
point.
An international monetary fund, and they make money from you. I don't know whether you understand.
We are pushed to a point that we cannot breathe.
That's the point. I told you this. Look, everything about the behavior of these whites, I told you.
Because
on this studio,
on Monday we begin the 5th month of the year,
which May,
and we haven't gotten the
approval.
You guys have made such projections here when we're talking about.
You remember
when do we get this?
Remember,
and
last 2 months,
so you could
I was telling you that I'm projecting even in May we are likely to be negotiating. Remember, I told you, and we are still negotiating. Look at what the Minister for Finance and the Central Bank Governor went through, the embarrassment they went through in Washington. You understand? Every serious economics, working in an international or multinational company in US, or Europe, was embarrassed as a Ghanaian. Yes. Those working in African Development Bank, those working in EU, those working in United Nations, those working in even WFP, World Food Program, were embarrassed because your country cannot feed herself with all these naturals and the size of your economy. $3 billion, they subject your Minister for Finance into this ridicule. And the group themselves, that is your creditors, came together, Chinese creditors, EU creditors, American creditors, look, and we're asking questions about the sovereignty of our economy. You know, Kenya didn't go through that. Zimbabwe didn't go through that. Because look at the debt levels. Are you okay? So you don't need me. Sometimes I don't like talking these things because it pisses me off, in the sense that you are aware that you are supposed to manage this in order that you can be able to do better in our economy. Look, somebody will sit and tell you that when the indices are not going on well, the exchange rate will expose you. Dr. Bauman made that statement clearly. He is the head of the economy management team.
Is there that team again?
Look, Ibrahim, this is a serious matter you are laughing with.
No, I'm asking whether there's still something called economic management team. That's all a team.
Oh yes, there is. Why not? We live in a country that we have an economy, and that economy must be run by people. And I'm saying that if you are not serious, or if you think poor, no matter what, you'll be poor. Do you understand? If you think poor, you'll be poor.
But for 7-8 months, we have been on this issue talking.
And I'm saying that.
And lots of respects. Common people have expressed and put for very important opinions and suggestions and advice.
Right. We are commoners. Listen. We sit here. Maybe nobody even listening to us. I don't know. We have opportunity to speak behind the microphone here. Not even in Accra. Just Tamale. One corner be some small radio station called Radio Tamale. Do you understand? And I'm telling you sitting here, maybe you have no idea about the economics that we are discussing. You are a journalist, but when we come that area, that is our area. We are students of economics. We are students of economics. Those who taught us, they themselves are spoken, and it fell on dead ears. And I'm saying you don't need Professor Dodonu Gimpa or what have you to tell you these things. They are common basics in economics. Very basic.
So why are we not?
You don't even need econometrics. You understand? So the numbers of it to solve this problem.
So why are the chosen economists are not getting these right?
They are not getting it right because of what we call behavioral change. Do you understand? People have their behavior and they replicate it in a way of thinking for other serious people, by amassing wealth for themselves and being greedy. Are you okay? They know the right thing, that when you borrowing is not bad. Nobody says it's bad. I've said this over and over. And there's no country who doesn't borrow, but you borrow to invest in order that you can get what we call interest or profit on what you are borrowed on, and use that to pay interest on what you have borrowed. Simple. But you don't borrow to consume. Why do you borrow money to come and pay salaries?
The building of interchanges.
Why do you borrow money to come and build a cathedral? Does it make sense? You borrow money to come and build a mosque. Tell me. Look at the debt on the energy sector. Independent power producers. Look at the problem. The huge amount of money that we are supposed to cough out. And one of the conditions of the IMF, in order for us to qualify, for them to sign us into the program, we need to come and then do what? Reduce our power sector debt, which was spelled out clearly in the spring meeting. You understand? Was very clear that the debt on the independent power producers, not even one, was so huge to the extent that we should come and downsize it. Ibrahim, we've said this, and you ask us questions, myself and Noah. We've said it. We've said this. And people think we're playing politics with it. You understand? Now we are distressed. There's no way the Minister for Finance can escape Forest Squad. No. Economics Forest Squad. I'm talking about economics Forest Squad. Do you understand? There's no way out. The Minister of Finance can escape it. Do you understand? Even his wage bill. His wage bill. 44 billion Ghana cedi. This small country, they are telling you, look, let's think right. What do we do, Ibrahim, to reduce spending, opulency? I don't know whether you understand. To restructure our own spending. We've said this over and over. The number of ministers, the amount of money the CEOs are taking at the end of every month, and they still take that money. At the point that the Minister for Finance is asking individual bond holders, you understand, to accept and sign on to the bond to give them leverage in order that they can reduce their debt and qualify and be signed into the IMF program and take the program 3 billion. We are not even taking it.
That's a cool.
No, they are in trenches. and they are pushing pensioners to accept and do this and cannot reduce the size of wage bill. Ibrahim, does it make sense?
The luxuries, the allowances, fat allowances of people who can forgo
the
them.
executive arm of government should look at that. Do you understand? I'm saying that it's 44 billion Ghana city. Our wages and salaries. That's the size that we are spending on salaries. Look.
So are you suggesting we should rationalize that maybe to some 30?
It's not me, me
to fit us to fit us.
I'm sitting here
to fit our
as
situation.
a student of economics. Me, I'm
of
not,
course.
I'm just telling you that it's basic. In me, my house,
But wouldn't
if
that
I
also,
have problem like that, I'll cut certain things off. It's simple.
wouldn't that also ignite some labor unrest here and there?
No.
Some people don't
You
want
don't
to
understand.
appreciate that.
You don't understand. When they say labor unrest, it has to do with what we call trying to do redundancy. You get it?
But
this one you are not.
Their allowances, maybe they are
Not their allowances. I'm saying that the CEO for
like
Bust,
Cocoa Board. That has been
taking 1 point something billion a month.
and the company has been struggling.
Struggling, cannot even buy cocoa sacks. Cannot buy spray for cocoa farmers. And the CEO is taking over 1 billion, 100 and something thousand Ghana city.
1 billion old cities, right?
I'm not saying they should sack him. Do you understand? I'm not saying they should sack him. I'm saying that it's simple economics. Look, preference, we have a
Like
scale of preference.
Bank of Ghana. I see
Mention
you,
them. Me,
governor.
you know them. Me, I don't know them. I'm just saying
like
that.
MPA,
Boss, look at the money he takes.
like Bost.
Look at it. ECG, VRA, those things. Look at the money they takes. I don't know whether you understand. So the same IMF who is trying to give you a bailout because you are begging. You don't have money and you have gone to beg. You understand? So they are saying that downsize it. I don't know, your expenditure on wages and salaries. Downsize the number of ministers you have. I don't know whether you understand. Downsize your recurrent expenditure on impress and other issues. They even told you that you don't have money, so stop school. Was in a free school. You can't do it. IMF has told them they can't do it.
But if they stop free school, look at
we are poor.
the economic situation.
Listen,
now.
you can pay for me. You can pay my child's school fees for me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But
The Minister of Finance cannot pay Haruna Idrisu's son a fee for him.
But the others
Does it make sense?
who naturally cannot. So what about them? The
That's
vulnerable
what
groups?
the IMF is telling you. Restructure that one.
So that those who can pay
They
should
can pay.
and those who cannot
It is
pay,
not embarrassing. You don't have money. That's all.
that will reduce that will lead to the reduction of the investment we are
Do you
doing.
need Lord Denning or Adam Smith to come up of his grave to tell you that you can no longer pay for free school at the secondary level, and for that matter, come back and then redesign it in order that people will pay for you to have a regular school and not do in-out program, or is it what we call tracking or what have you? Do you get it? So it's not me. It's the situation. You understand? If you are beating what you can chew, you'll be in a tight corner. Ibrahim.
Yes.
And these are simple things that we must understand. And then we move on. Today, what are they telling you? That your debt to GDP should come 55%. You have read it. And you are around 79%. How do you reduce it? Tell me. You are the finance minister. You are Ken Oforiatta.
He's
and you are somewhere, you are not in 60.
We have to go through another round of the domestic exchange program to get the figures to 55.
How do you do it? Tell me. Me, I don't know. You know it. How do you do it? To downsize it and to bring it from 79% to GDP. Look, total debt accrue
So does that mean that then
total debt accrue as of November is 575 billion Ghana cedi. As of November 2022. Forget about the recent interest on loans and other commitments that have been laid before Parliament in February. And even last week, we were trying to contract another EU loan of about $126 million, another $60 million, and another $170 million. And minority MPs are challenging that. Look, it is something we need to look at. Why have they taken out? You are here. Were you not here when I was interviewing the custom people? You remember? You couldn't speak Tamale and I was doing it on your behalf. You know when they said they took out the benchmark? You remember? When they took out the benchmark, what's happening at your revenue points? Because we can no longer give that waiver. So
the imports are
yes,
reducing.
Yes.
Maybe importers are looking for some alternatives, going to maybe the port of Lome.
Good. I mean, I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Because recently there was a circular that raised concerns about the fact that there were some dwindling fortunes at the port.
So this is where we found ourselves.
And we thought that raising costs of import could have been a way of getting fast money and reviving the economy. This is where
we find ourselves. Are you okay?
But some say once the cost is down and a lot more importation is done, then you will be able to raise sustainable income.
Let me give you an example. If you were bringing 40-feet container of, let's say, Brody Wow, used goods, and we're paying like 500 in the new currency is how much?
500 cities?
500 million.
Or 500 million.
50,000.
50,000
cities. Correct. And now the benchmarks have been taken off. Are you okay? By the same custom people who told us here. And you are now paying close to about 1 billion. How do you survive? Then aside that, new taxes as of 2 months ago were approved in Parliament. Development tax, custom tax, you understand? 3 different taxes. And here Guta. Now these are the things that we are talking about. We need to put in taxes which are what? Progressive, not regressive tax. You understand? So look, the finance minister messed up. I can stand here, though they are finance bankers and what have you, but from the small economics that we have learned from school and still learning, we can sit far and say clearly that he has messed up completely, because he didn't understand that raising so much bonds and benefiting from the bonds, this is where it will land you. If data bank owned by you were doing that, what we call the bet on behalf of Ghana for a fee, you may have amassed wealth, but you are confronted with the issues now. Whether your debt levels are too high, such that even now you have been blacklisted at the bond markets. Then you have gone to sort what we call bailout from an international organization, and also saying that now come and downsize what you did. Ibrahim, what are you going to do? That would compel you to go and sit before these whites, and they will ask you questions to the extent that we realize that we have come to your country and people are not paying fair price on energy. Go and charge them. These were some of the things they were telling the finance minister. They should come back home and charge us.
The power that we cannot buy.
Right now, we are complaining. People are complaining. They come now. They should come home. Last 2 weeks and put pressure on us to pay. He also knows the problem in Ghana. Do you understand? So if you have been given an opportunity, to run a country, there's the need to look at it as your property. If you tell Setekbe that he rushed to IMF the 16th time, since independent, and that's when you come to power, you will not sign into an IMF program because Sikawa got like the tree. I don't know how to speak it. Yet Sika su and come there, said by the president himself. Is that not what he said? Yet Sika su, and that we will be able to raise revenue, in order to support our consolidated fund, and that will take care of what we call capital projects, and even pay salaries and take care of capital projects. Today, domestic borrowing alone, we borrow to pay salaries. We borrow money externally to come and pay salaries. We borrow money to come and pay interest on loans. Ibrahim, does it make sense?
Well, perhaps that's the only thing we can do, or we know how to do, and we're doing it. And that's the situation that we have found ourselves in.
So, Tuesday, just you wanted me to talk about, and I said, Ibrahim, these things, me lately I don't like talking about these things because it's like we come to waste our time, and then, but some other people see you in time. So, Mr. Ishmael, the way you educate us on this, so me, that's what compels me sometimes to even talk about the economics and governance and all those things, because these are experts who have set up their own banks and have made it. You understand? And they begin the opportunity to run, and they've messed that up. So what do you want us to do? Look at Addison, an astute banker. Look at where he has found himself. Today, banks have come out. There's no bank apart from CBG, this thing. Societe Generale, what's the name of it? SSB Bank. Is that it?
I think it's now SG Bank.
SG Tor. Apart
Bank.
from that bank, if you look at the banking sector, there are only people who have said that no, they are even breaking even and not making profit. You understand? But all the banks,
they have recorded losses.
They have recorded losses, and not less than 55 million Ghana.
77,
76,
76,
yes.
65.
Stanbic Bank of all banks have talking of 60-something million Ghana city. They have recorded losses because of debt restructuring. Have affected them. So now, if you could come your first day in office, then you needed about, was it 19 billion Ghana cedi to support domestic or local banks. Then you liquidate them. You understand? As the Minister of Finance, you are a banker, you know the meaning of what you did in 2017-2018. You know it. Me sitting here will tell you the consequences of your action. When you did that, then you are now coming to clap hands for yourself and saying that you are going to do what we call cleanup, banking sector cleanup and recapitalization. Remember? And that a bank that cannot have a minimum of 400 million Ghana cedi capital should be closed. And that's what affected Kwesi Ndum's, what's the name? GN Bank. And that is what affected banks like Dufour's Bank, what's the name?
Unibank.
Unibank. Amoabe's Bank, what is the name? Kofi Amoabe, you remember that guy who started from a Susu up to that level. You see,
will not come.
Just recently we've all forgotten. You remember Amoabe, Kofi Amoabe? Yes.
UT Bank.
UT Bank. Now, all these indigenous banks and microfinance, which were owned and controlled by Ghanaian people, 80 to 90% of them were liquidated and closed down and asked to be prosecuted. Of course, they had to sign onto it. Do you understand? Access were confiscated and sold. An amalgamation of banks became CBG, or you don't know, Consolidated Bank of Ghana, right? Today, why wouldn't we be under pressure? We are under pressure because of repatriation of profit, capital flights. In economics, we say capital flights.
So
who are they? Access Bank. They make profits. Where do they send the money to? It's a Nigerian bank. Or you don't know? That bank, just by Samuel John. GT. Guaranteed Trust Bank, right? Is that it? God. It's a Nigerian bank. Do you understand? Stanbic Bank. It's a South African bank. Are you okay? Zenith Bank. It's a Nigerian bank. They have money to do the recapitalization you are talking about. So look at all the banks now that are in Ghana and surviving. UBA Bank is a Nigerian bank. United Bank for Africa. Do you get it? So they have money to meet the deadline for 400 million Ghana cedi capital. How much dollars is it? So, and your own people will work, and then these banks will take what we call the money, make profit at the end of every year, and take it out of your country. Why won't your country won't be under pressure? You've sold out your own telecoms, including state-owned communication called Ghana Telecom. Look at the number of people who patronize airtime in this country. And that money, you think it stays in Ghana. Vodafone is not owned by Ghanaians. These are simple, basic things that you should know. MTN, they have large number of subscribers. Modem, they sell this, they sell this, they sell this. Look at the money they make, South Africans. So tell me, what can you do to domesticate your own economy in order that you can be able to do what? Protect this fragile economy that you have. Leave that aside.
But we have failed on all those courses.
We have failed.
Because what even prompted the sale of Vodafone,
yes,
Ghana Telecom?
Including the university.
What prompted that?
Yes.
It was a Ghanaian own. We failed to manage it well. Because usually it's an appointment of party cronies.
You want the economy. You are talking
areas
about the economy. You Ibrahim, you people like it. And then the callers too, they want it. The economics. But you see, when we are talking about these things, it saddens us because, Ibrahim, look at Anglo Ashanti. Do you get it? Anglo Ashanti is owned and controlled by foreigners.
But you people go about talking about foreign investment. You want foreign investment. So is that not the foreign investment that you're looking for? Is that not the foreign investment?
Your own goal, though, that God has given to you in Obasi, is owned and controlled by foreigners. Talo oil. You see the helicopter fly from Kotoka to the sea. It takes oil, gold, this thing. You understand? You see their flight, what's the name? Anglo Ashanti, their flight, the gold chopper, the helicopter. Yes, it's your gold they are exporting. It's a Ghanaian gold they are exporting. You understand? Look, you found oil, one field, some copper fields. Now you discover another 2 fields. How much money do you make from the oil? You understand? You make less than 15% revenue from the oil. You understand? And they produce close to 270,000 barrels a day. Minimum of 215,000 barrels. Minimum. The 3 fields.
You desire foreign investment.
And you are poor. You are looking for 3 billion to survive. From IMF, and they're asking you questions and embarrassing you in Washington. Huh? And you come home, you still regret. They have written you a letter that your foreign reserves have been given out to over 47 companies, concessions, to go and mine in your forest. Signed by no less a person, by the late Sir John, and given to people, aparachikis, party boys. And they are destroying your own forest, logs, that you banned rosewood and pepperwood. And they give an opportunity to Chinese people because they sell the document to the Chinese people.
Okay, we have to wrap up and talk about health.
Boss, Charlie. These things being, the least talk about them, the better. So I would have gone on and on and on and on and tell you.
It means nothing will change, right?
There's nothing, no.
Because these are, we desire foreign investors,
yes.
Isn't it? Is that not what we've been praising ourselves for? Or we want foreign investors.
But it should be beneficial.
The Chinese, the Americans are coming, but it is not beneficial because from the evidences you and I are talking about,
yes.
we have mined gold for like over a century.
Over centuries.
And what is there to show?
We don't have anything.
17 times we go to
IMF to beg.
Yes, we have produced cocoa.
In 2014. In 2014.
Yes.
When you signed onto IMF program, you were looking for $900 million, not $1 billion. Even though your debt to GDP was not that high, are you okay? So in 1 month, you have the executive level approval, and then you have the board approval, and then they gave you $600 million program. $600 million. That's somebody's chicken chain. It's chicken change for somebody. And the whole country went to beg in 2014, John Mahmoud's time. Do you understand? And they gave you $600. You couldn't even access the $900 million. Ibrahim, you couldn't access it.
Well,
and now these people say, "Oh, over my dead body for me to
go to
IMF and beg." Today, you are saying that if they don't give you $3 billion, you can't survive, and then you have taken 6 months to sign onto the program, and harassing people to sign on to restructuring their debts and giving you fiscal space in order that you can qualify to take that money. Is it not shameful? Is it not shameful and embarrassing, Ibrahim?
Thank you. That's Mr. Ishmael there for you. Good morning to you and to Mr. Ishmael, and that's from Imoru. Razak from Sawama. In all angles, everything is basa. Kenyans are really in serious trouble.
Yes.
And then this one says that, Mr. Ibrahim, it is clear that the MPP government cannot manage the economy. The economy again, and we so need to vote John Mahama and the NDC back to power to manage our economy very well. My regards to Ataisha, inshallah, he is our next PC for Sanarigo, is number 4 on the ballot. This is from Abdul Gafarov from Namandu, aka Gaf Namandu. Thank you for sending us your message this morning. And this one says that, hi Patriots. Hi Patriots, there is good management, expectation and dedication is always at the service of the people. Fighting Galamsey is not one man's business. It involves everybody. For me, I am not supporting those who are destroying our water bodies, so the Lord must deal with them. By A. Rahim Gagantuan, the special one. And maybe our fear is that if the NDC also come and continue on this tangent, it means that we are destroyed forever.
Somebody like Komi so close and said, how can a journalist be laundering money?
It means that we are condemned forever.
I don't know.
Thank you, Mr. Ishmael, for joining us this morning. So we'll pause for a breather. And then when we come back, Dr. Edisu Abdullah Yahya will be joining us. We'll take a look at hypertension, complications and management. And we'll talk about types and stages of that. He'll be joining us in a jiffy. But before that, let's honor our sponsors before we come back to talk about health